Welcome to Financial Confidence, where we help you to make your money, keep your money, and grow your money so you can do those things that you're called to do. Today, guys, we're going to be having a powerful conversation with a special guest in our podcasting studio. So make sure you are ready. Make sure you're in a place where you can get silent and pay attention, because this is going to help you to move to your next. We always say here that there is not a lack of resources, but there is a lack of resourcefulness. So we're going to help you tap into that today with our special guest. But before we get into that, guys, just want to remind you, the guiding principle for this show is Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So we go back to our title, guys. There's not a lack of resources, there's a lack of resourcefulness. So how are you going to tap into it? Walk in it so you can do what you're called to do. All right, guys. So today, whenever you're listening to this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and wherever you're listening and watching this broadcast, I want you to make sure that you follow, share, like, and subscribe so that you can get this information, so we can share this information throughout the community. Today's guest on the show is Dr. Brenda Boston Hudson, and she is the CEO of the Marie Barney Scholarship Foundation. All right, Dr. Brenda, how are you?
Dr. Brenda is doing very well on this beautiful, beautiful morning. Hello, radio audience, those that are viewing us today.
Yes, yes. And I hope it's okay that I call you Dr. Brenda. Some people are like, yes, no, however. Okay, great.
You can just call me my biological name. Hi, Brenda. How are you?
Okay, that works. All right, guys. So as we're moving through our conversation today, we're going to be doing some sharing information that's going to help the family, right? We're going to help the parent and the child as we think about different ways we can be resourceful. And I know everybody's feeling the pinch, right? In this time, we've seen the inflation, we've seen the rise in interest rates, we've seen all these different things that are happening, and it feels like the finances are being attacked in a variety of different ways. So we're going to help you to think through that, because it's time for our babies to go to college. It's time for them to, leave the nest and be able to go and get into that career, the area of study in which they are interested. And we want to be able to support them so that they can thrive and do those things that they are called to do as well. So today in this conversation, Dr. Brenda and I are going to share about the foundation and some of the opportunities that we have for students in regards to scholarships. Also, guys, I just want to remind you, it's very important that you learn to invest, no matter what it is. Investing in yourself, taking the time out now to listen and join in with us, you are investing in yourself. But I also want you to think about investing in your finances, because we're called to build generational wealth. So how are we going to do that if we don't become the good stewards of the finances that are readily available to us? So if you are ready to learn to invest because you say, hey, that's been too difficult, remember at Financial Confidence, we do have a 7-day prep course, Prep to Invest. And you just go to bit.ly/7-day prep to invest. All right. So with that being said, Dr. Brenda, first, we want to share about your foundation. How did everything get started? How did you get in this line of work to provide these opportunities for our students?
Well, it was all because of Dr. Marie Barney Boston, who was my mom, my mentor, and my confidant. Mom founded the Marie Barney Boston Scholarship Foundation back in December of 2016. Mom wanted to leave a legacy, and her legacy as an educator, she wanted to make sure that education was continued in our community. She was an advocate for education, had a passion for education, and made sure that the 6 of us, my siblings, had that education, had that foundation, that abundance of blessings that God have given all of us to just proceed on that foundational pathway of learning is power. So the foundation was founded by the Dr. Marie Barney Boston and me as Dr. Brenda Boston Hudson picked up that baton, Lynn,
Yes.
and we are continuing her legacy to keep these youngsters on that pathway to learning.
Awesome. I love it. And what I also see and is very evident is your passion behind this. So
Oh,
your
yes.
mom, she lit the fire and I can see the
Yes.
fire still blazing.
Absolutely.
As-
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. So as you move forward, then what have you found in this process of carrying the baton? What have you found has been most challenging for the students that you are supporting?
The challenge that we find is that financial piece that goes along or is the head of that pillow of these youngsters going to school. A lot of times these young folks have no resources, but those resources are there. They have to come out of that comfort zone and network with folks. The parents as well. They got to get started early on this educational journey. And it starts as little as the ninth grade, preparing for these scholarship years. The monies are there. You just have to find them. And I tell all parents, Lynn, that guidance counselor is the most significant part of this component, because the guidance counselor will direct those students, and those monies are there. They have to plan early, get that paperwork there ready to attach to those applications. And if the parents and the kids and the guidance counselors work together, it's a smooth transition. So that's what I suggest to all of these students that are looking to go to college. Don't wait until you're in 12th grade to start looking. You gotta look far beyond that 12th grade.
Awesome. Awesome. So I love it. Again, guys, there's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. So when you talk about the paperwork process, and whether that's physical paper or digital paper, right? Because a lot of the scholarships and a lot of the applications are online today. So as we're thinking about the paperwork and for applying for the scholarship in your foundation, what does it look like for a student?
It's very easy. It is digitalized. It is on the website. The application process for the Marie Barney Boston Scholarship Foundation, the process opens January 1st of every year. The process closes without exceptions on May 31st of that same year. So you have several months there to work on getting that information. And it's all electronic from the beginning to the very end. When that information is attached to your application, it comes directly to the board of directors of the Scholarship Foundation. And that's the busiest time of year for the board of directors of the foundation, because there is a process. All of this information is on the website. The criteria, the requirements, what needs to be uploaded, and it really needs to be assessed. It really needs to be a process mentally, that everything that's required, we look for it. And if it's not there, your numbers will certainly decrease, and it will be very disturbing for you to put that much effort into applying and then you forget something. So it's very important what's asked for that the students make sure that it's received.
Absolutely. So as you're thinking about the scholarship, the process, the criteria, what is the number one challenge that you've noticed? You know, when you go through the scholarships, you look at the rubrics and you're scoring, you know, because oftentimes it's very tough, right? These
It is.
students who are coming to the table are going to be your top students, you know, who are dedicated, they're your high performers. So what helps a kid to stand out, right? What can they do to ensure that they put their best foot forward?
I think that it should be timely. Time management is so important for youngsters. Actually, if indeed that essay, there's multiple questions that you can write that essay on. You choose what you're passionate about, and you make sure that you explain or articulate, just like you're telling your story. Why do you want to go to college? What kind of career you're looking for? You choose what question, and you focus on how you can convey that information to those board of directors who are scoring that essay.
Awesome. Awesome. So as they're looking at this, you said this is the busiest time of the year for your board of directors. On the other side of that coin, there are others who may be interested in working with the board. And one of the things that I love that you do is that you have a student who also has been a scholarship recipient that is also participating on the board. So will you share a little bit more about that? Because I think that is so innovative.
I certainly will explain to you that this young man, I will call him Amir, graduated last year, the very first recipient that Dr. Marie wrote that check to. He graduated from Florida State University in Tallahassee here in Florida. He graduated with a degree in information technology. His first corporate position is with Ernst & Young, an analytic firm out of Washington, D.C., but they moved him to San Antonio office. Amir was so intrigued with mom writing him that first check until he said, how can I give back to this foundation that gave much, much into me? Well, he have returned to the foundation, and he's being mentored by me personally. And Amir is learning the nonprofit sector. He's learning nonprofit practice of excellence. And he's also being mentored for corporate boardship. Sitting in many of the corporate boards myself, there was not a lot of brown and Black people sitting at that board table. So it is a passion of mine to make sure not only do we mentor them, not only do we financially support them, but we instill in them what they're going to, or how they will anticipate their lives in corporate America. So I commend Amir. We have expanded that component to all of the graduating recipients of the Marie Barney Boston Scholarship Foundation. And we will make sure that they are prepared and ready for corporate boardrooms.
Wow. Wow. And that, you know, that is very powerful. And I love the idea so much. I told you I was going to steal it, right? We're stealing it for our nonprofit foundation, Swinging to Their Dreams, because
Yes.
it's such a tremendous opportunity for us to give back, right? walk the walk that we talk, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So making sure that we not only give them funds, but also support them along the way so that they can ensure, right, that they're building the foundation. Because oftentimes, and I think back to when I was given a scholarship in college, I didn't have to reach out to anyone after I received that check. They sent me the money. It went to the financial aid office. That was that. I had no further contact with anyone around what next? What do you do here? How do you do that? So I believe that it is one of the most invaluable things that you can do and instill for our youth as we move forward. And of course, that's why we're stealing the idea.
Yes.
I just want to put it out there. We are taking the idea and we will be running with it.
Yes.
But I love that you're not only creating a seat at the table, but you're providing them with the foundational knowledge and basis to create their own table. Absolutely. And move forward as they progress in their careers, whether that's corporate entrepreneurship or whatever it happens to be for the students.
Yes.
So as you're thinking about the foundation and your work with a nonprofit, what would be the top 2 to 3 things that you would share with a parent that would like to get involved with a foundation such as yours?
I think that we can't support our recipients without involving the family. Because we don't just want that one child. We want all of your children to be a part of the foundation. If we want to help this next or the future generation, the old adage is you can't raise a child without the community. We become a family. We become a community. So we have to involve that family component. So when we reach out to those youngsters, we reach out to that family as well, because knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. If we empower that family, they can pass that information on to the next family. And this is how we become independent soldiers on this journey.
Right. I love it. And not to sound cliche, but by bringing it to the family, they have built-in accountability partners, right? And by having that built in, we can say to each other, hey, when one is not doing right, let's get back on track. Or when one is doing well, hey, that's a great job. I'm going to copy that, just like I'm copying your idea.
Well, now let me tell you this, Lynn. I did have the year that I think it was 2021 when COVID was rapid. There was one youngster that I could not locate. Mm-hmm. Well, there's letters of recommendations that are a part of the application process. Those recommendations, I reached out to those folks and I said, listen, I've called the university. They said that this individual is still enrolled, mm-hmm. but I can't get a call back. Something is happening. Those recommendation folks reached out and they were able to make contact with this recipient. I do what I have to do. I think as a parent, what would I do if it was my youngster away in college and they signed that agreement that they'll be a part of that mentoring program? So why are we not hearing from you? I will find you, Lynn, even if I have to go to that college campus and put a sign out. Have you seen this recipient? So we do what we need to do in essence to make sure that they know they didn't get a free check. They didn't get just the money, but it comes with much sacrificing. And if we make sacrificing as adults to make sure you get that funding, we expect you to give back and support what you said you were going to do. That's all about accountability. And they learn that once they leave us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Dr. Brenda, before we get ready to close out the show, I just want to say that it has been a pleasure sharing and having this conversation with you. We're definitely going to invite you back to WYTV7 so that we can have this conversation for financial confidence, because there are layers here
Yes.
to this scholarship conversation that
Yes.
we have just barely scraped the surface
Yes.
today. So what I
I'd love
want you to do is please share your website, any social media, or any events you have coming up that the people can look forward to before we get ready to close the show.
Well, the Scholarship Foundation is named after our founder. You can find us. You can just Google us if you need to. That's the Marie Barney Boston Scholarship Foundation. That website is www.mariebbsf.org. We're on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're out there. We have youngsters from all over the United States. We solicit your support. We ask that you donate to the foundation. And Lynn, I have certainly enjoyed spending time with you and your listening audience. Invite me back anytime. I'd love to participate.
All right, we're going to hold you to it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode where we said there's not a lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. So we need you to get out there and do the work. Don't let the paperwork hinder you, because, you know, in the community, sometimes if it's a lot of paperwork, we be like, you know what, that's too much work. Go ahead and get it done. There's never a lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. With that said, guys, thank you for listening in to this episode of Financial Confidence at WYTV7. If this has been invaluable for you, head on over to our website, WYTV7.org. Leave a donation so we can continue to do what we're called to do. That's to educate, encourage, and empower. Until next time, guys, you all stay safe and go out there and get it done, all right? Have a good evening.